Hi, welcome to iFlip for Math, MathCast Lesson 5-6, Part 2, Two-Digit Quotients Using the Standard Algorithm. My name is Mrs. Gooding, and our quote today again is Abraham Lincoln. Still, I do the very best I know how, the very best I can, and I mean to keep on doing so until the end. So I know standard algorithm is challenging for some of you, but do the very best you know how, the very best you can, and keep working on it until we're finished and we've mastered it. Our learning goal today is to divide by a two-digit divisor in a problem where the quotient will have two digits. Our learning goals, these are a little bit different than yesterday because we're using the standard algorithm. So we're going to be using front-end estimation and the division song to remember the steps and then go through the process carefully. Here's our first example, 941 divided by 76. Let's go ahead and work this together. So I went ahead and wrote the steps down the side: divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, start all over. And we're looking at 941 divided by 76. So we're going to start out by asking ourselves, does 76 go into 9? And you can't go into a room that's smaller than you are. 9 is definitely smaller than 76. So we're going to put an X over it. We don't want to use that space at all. So now we're saying, will 76 go into 94? And it will. And we're trying to figure out how many times. That's a pretty easy one. We really don't need to use estimation because 76 will go into 94 one time. So using the standard algorithm, we write the 1 there right now. And then the next step is to multiply. So we multiply 1 times 76 and write that right below that room. And subtract. 4 minus 6 we can't do, but 14 minus 6 is 8, and 8 minus 7 is 1. So now the next step is to bring down, and we have a 1 to bring down. And this one, I don't know. How many times will 76 go into 181? But if I round 76 up to 80, because I'm rounding to the greatest place value position, and I think about compatible numbers, I know that 80 will go into 16 or 160. So I'm thinking 8 goes into 16 two times, so 80 should go into 181 at least 2 times. So I'm going to come over here and multiply that to check it. We'll multiply 2 times the number we actually have here, our divisor. 2 times 6 is 12, carry the 1. 2 times 7 is 14 plus 1 is 15. That works, so I'm going to write that below it. And we'll write the 2 up here above the 1. And so then we just multiply. 2 times 76 is 152. We still are following our steps. 1 minus 2 you can't do, so we're going to borrow from the 8. 11 minus 2 is 9, and 7 minus 5 is 2. We have nothing else to bring down. Our remainder is less than our divisor, so we'll write it right here. And remember to check this, we multiply 76 times 12 and then add our remainder of 29, and our answer should be 941. It should always match our dividend. So there's Mr. Gooding and I in Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C., and our problems are going to be the same tonight as they were last night in Lesson 5-6 Part 1 because we're working them a different way, but I want you to see that you still get the same answer. So 279 divided by 23. The important thing is that you work it using the standard algorithm, check it using multiplication, and then push play, and I'll show you how to work it if you had any questions. Did you find 12 remainder 3? Let's see how you do that using the standard algorithm. So I wrote the steps down the side: divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, start all over. So we're looking at how many times 23 will go into 2. It won't, so we'll put an X above it. And now we're looking at how many times 23 will go into 27, which I think we can figure out. It's going to go in 1 time, and we'll multiply 1 times 23, which is 23, and subtract. 7 minus 3 is 4. 2 minus 2 is 0. So we have to bring down next. Bring down that 9. And 23 goes into 49. I know that 23 plus 23 is 46. So I know that it will go into 49 2 times. So I follow my bring down arrow straight back up and write my 2 above it. 2 times 3 is 6, and 2 times 2 is 4. Subtract, 9 minus 6 is 3, and 4 minus 4 is 0. So my remainder is 3. It's less than my divisor of 23. Remember that my remainder could have been as high as 22 here, but it was only 3. I just want you to remember that you can have large remainders when you have large divisors. So 12 remainder 3, check it by multiplying 12 times 23, and then add 3, which will give you 276. 710 divided by 63. Use that standard algorithm and then check it when you're done and push play when you're ready. Did you write 11 remainder 17? Let's see how we did that one. So following our steps, we ask ourselves how many times 63 will go into 7, and it won't. So we'll put an X over that. Now we're looking at 71. 63 goes into 71 one time. Now we're ready to multiply. 1 times 63 is 63. Subtract. We're borrowing so that we have 11 minus 3 is 8, and 6 minus 6 is 0. Bring down that 0. 63 goes into 80. Well, I know that 63 plus 63 is 126, so it only goes in one time. 1 times 63 is 63. 0 minus 3, can't do it. 10 minus 3 is 7, and 7 minus 6 is 1. Our remainder of 17 is less than our divisor, so that works. To check it, 11 times 63 and then add 17 to that should give us 710. In our practice word problem today, we're going to take 451 students on a field trip to the Lincoln Presidential Museum. And today, only 27 students can fit on a bus. So how many buses will we need to take to transport all of the students to the museum? I want you to think about how we solved that yesterday, but today we're going to use the standard algorithm. So go ahead and work that out, think about it carefully, and then push play when you figured it out and checked it. Did you write 17 buses? Let's see how we did that. So we'll start out with our division step. 27 goes into 4. It won't, so we're going to put an X over that. And then 27 goes into 45. I'm not sure, but if I round this, I would round this to 3 and I would round this to 5, and I don't think it goes 2 times. So let's try it just one time. Sometimes with standard algorithm, we have to erase and go back and try something new, and that's okay. Next step is to multiply. 1 times 27 is 27. I'm hoping that what's left over after I subtract this is less than 27. That'll mean my quotient's right so far. 5 minus 7, I can't do that. 15 minus 7 is 8. And 3 minus 2 is 1. And 18 is less than 27, so my quotient's right. It only goes into 45 one time. So now I'm ready to bring down my 1. And now, wow, this is tricky. Let's see, if we round this to 3 and we round this to, well, 3 will go into 18 6 times. So let's multiply that off to the side and see what we get. 6 times 27. 6 times 7 is 42. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 4 is 16, 162. That works. So let's write our 6 up here. And we'll write 162 right here and subtract it. 1 minus 2 you can't do. 11 minus 2 is 9, and 7 minus 6 is 1. Now, 19 is less than 27, so again, the number that I picked to go in the quotient is correct there, and this is our remainder because I have nothing left to bring down. To check that, I'm going to multiply 16 times 27 and then add 19 to that, and I should get 451, which is my dividend. It's time to challenge yourself. Mr. Perkins is building another bookshelf to hold the rest of his books. He loves to build bookshelves. He owns 9,405 books. If he can fit 203 books on each shelf, how many shelves will his bookshelf need to have in order to hold all of his books? Go ahead and show your work in your flip journal, check your work, explain your answer, and come back tomorrow ready to find out if you got it correct. Have some fun with this one. I got the fun in there this time. Finishing up, go ahead and review your learning goals again. This is different than the crazy division. It's the standard algorithm. It's a little bit more challenging, but I think it's a lot of fun once you get practicing it and have, a little bit of experience with it. So just like Abraham Lincoln, keep going, don't give up, and do the best you know how and the best you can. Division rocks. You've completed lesson 5-6, part 2, two-digit quotients using the standard algorithm. I will see you tomorrow.